Hey YouTube, who's sick of fuzz-based videos? Nobody? Good. So here's another fuzz-based video. This will be the Irn-Bru fuzz-base. So this, I'm going to number these. So this will be fuzz-base 3. 1, 2, 3. Just, I eventually kind of cracked and did it with the other one as well. I decided that basically it had to have the wee Dymo label that said fuzz on it. The rest of the knobs, you'll learn anyway, but just on the back, I just wrote on it, so when you look at it, it's like, oh, fuzz, volume, tone, fuzz, volume, tone. Easy. You can see how I did it now as well. Basically, that's just a full-on backplate from a Strat. Just stuck it on. Batteries in there. I used that wee bit there so you can actually see where the battery is, and it fits really snug and well. Doesn't even need bits of rubber. The battery doesn't move. It's just held in with friction. So, pretty easy. So this was kind of like the first production run one, but I wasn't really doing anything different. What I didn't do with this one, I didn't do with that one either, which I'm going to do, is I would rather have a channel cut along the top between where the pedal is and where the controls are, because I've got a hole drilled through the middle, so it goes through, you know, that much solid wood, and then so all the cables have to be long enough to take the scratch plate off and then kind of go down through the hole and back out again. Whereas if I just cut a route along the top, like the way, you know, the one that goes to this pickup, it just means I could lift the scratch plate off. So that's the bit I've learned. It's all hidden by the scratch plate anyway. But yeah. So that's just a bass on its own, Roland Microcube. What amp am I on? I'm on a Bass 360, which is basically the one I always use, the Bass 360, because see, when you're using the tuner on it, it's quite an old amp. So the tuner, you choose which, you turn on the tuner and you rotate which amp selector you've got to which note it is you want to tune to. So it just goes E, A, D, and then D is Bass 360, which is the last one I've tuned. So that's why it's always used that one. They're all kind of good. So a little bit of fuzz, bring it in. You've got a hell of a lot. You're talking super overload. That's kind of like the volume at 1, so you have to be a little bit careful with it. But what I was saying with this tone control, turn the tone up. That low end just disappears if that's what you're after. Right, back to the bass. So I mean, yes, ultimately having the fuzz bass. Oops, what we just turned? Was that one there I wanted to turn? It's awesome having the. You can see how much I'm adjusting it there. But just buying one of these VGP fuzz pedals, obviously you can do all of this if you just buy, like, you know, that. Obviously you need a power supply and a lead going into it, plug your bass into it, and you can sit with it, you know, on the table and do all the things I'm doing here. Arguably, this one, it's getting the fuzz pedal's getting a cleaner signal because it's just coming from the pickup, going straight through the volume, straight to the, rather than having to go through a big long cable. So, arguably slightly better, but the same, all these principles apply where they're just messing about with the controls. And so that's the fuzz. Too much fuzz, too much tone, you lose all the low end. Tone brings it back. Bit less tone. Fuzz even. It's also got another boost mode on it as a switch, which is a completely different thing. I was actually wondering, can I adjust that camera and make it like a let it play the bass video type thing? I kind of want to be a bit closer there. I don't know, just like general bass jamming, which I'm just about to do. Thinking click tracks, it's really handy to, even if you don't use it all the time, be able to play along with a click track. See for playing along with other people. If you both know how to play along with a click track, once you've done it and kind of locked into it a few times, for like a couple of weeks or whatever, you don't need the click track anymore, but you know where it is kind of in your head. So I'm going to use a wee bit of drums. Well, okay, it's not a click track, but it's just only a wee bit more than that, and then just try to play in it. So I'm just playing an E here. Just something as simple as that, along with a click but perfect timing, is all the effectiveness. So you can see there I'm just playing the 2 notes. See what I mean? I'm always just aware of where it is, and you see there by doing things a wee bit before it. It's like, so you're just playing on the beat, but going, look, that is actually at the end of one of the other beats. So if you know where that is, and you can, as long as you always hit that. And then obviously when you don't think you're going to get to it, you can just keep going until you can get back to that E. So I'm going to turn that off now. It's a bit distracting, but so as I'm saying, you're just playing an E. You've also got an E open. And then when you're playing a bass, you've got like the note there, which is the E, which is the 7th fret on the A string, and then if you skip over 2 strings and go up 2 frets, you end up with the octave of the same note, and with the E you've got all the one note. So basically most of the runs, everything I play, you're kind of going between and that. Just between those 2 notes, because that's you basically going from there to there, and that's basically, I just tend to think of it that way. So when you're trying to get a groove playing the bass, don't necessarily try and play Red Hot Chili Peppers slap funk bass riffs and Time by Pink Floyd, or Money by Pink Floyd. Try and play something that's so you're going from there. If we do it in A, which is the same thing, there's your root note A, which most songs seem to be. So you're basically going between that note. So you can do disco bass by just hitting those 2 notes. Then slide up. That's all you're doing, right? But between those 2 you get there's all these different scales that go between those 2 notes, but they all start there and end there. That you can, if you're kind of aware where that is, you've always got something to fall back on. So I'm just kind of playing the notes between that one, or you just kind of remember what order it is. Kind of some notes sound right, some sound note, but you're only going from there to there. So it's just sometimes if you've kind of got that, that's like a minor or something. You see, I'm still playing. I'm still in my head. I've got the A. These are the only notes I know in the bass are G, A, and even B's not really there because I don't play B there very often. I never play C there. And then it's C, D, E, so G, A. So if you're playing A, C, D, you can disco it by just going A, C. Try and get some different sounds and put some drums on then. Try and get a different, a bit more pop and disco. So what else can we do? Prefer the normal mode with less tone. What's abrasive in it? Bass is just awesome. I much prefer having a fuzz in there as well, definitely. That's where I like it. Using very little of the fuzz pedal on its most harshest and brightest, which I still think lets quite a lot of the lower end through. A bit more volume. But I think the point there with the click track was fall back on it all the time. It doesn't really matter if you play the right notes. If you know if you've got the click track going in your head, whatever it was you're playing, even if you've just played a bar on your own or you've just got some sort of click track going on, you know exactly when to hit notes. And that's half the battle. The other one's is just hitting the right notes, but you know when to hit it. Vitally important, hitting it when. Nobody gives a shit if you make mistakes. People do give a shit if you fuck up and the chorus falls to bits because you're not changing it the right note. So basically, hit the right note, do whatever you want, and then at the end of it, make sure you've hit the chorus note. That's it. The rest of it's obviously learn, but do it better. There's better ways of doing it. But as long as you get that note at the end, you're fine. Also, the bass is the same as the guitar. Everything playing the bass applies to the guitar as well. Just some things sound a bit cooler and are more useful in the bass. But that, so you get like if you're playing, starting an A, just like in a sequence going up from it. You've also got an A there, so you can play exactly the same thing with exactly the same positions relative to each other. See, that it's kind of wee bits like kind of try to play that bit, or instead of going, what bit? That's where you get string skipping, and you can do. There's a lot of our fancy in the shred books type shit you can do on the guitar, just basically from that principle. Obviously, I'd love to be able to do it, but not willing to put the effort in to do it. But just knowing the principle of it makes a bit of a difference. You know, just the idea of playing it there. So it's just the same notes. There only are 12, so it doesn't really matter how long your sequence is. You just keep running the same bit and then going, oh, that's the same notes that are in a slightly different order. I'm playing it backwards or whatever the key is. I do think that just having a bit of fuzz is definitely better for the bass soloist. I don't think the band would let you away with it very much. You'll probably find that you're kind of stomping an awful lot on where the guitarist likes to hear himself when you're using a fuzz bass. A little bit. I definitely noticed that I was swamping out Craig when I started using it in the Sabbath band, but it kind of works with the Sabbath stuff. On the upside, anytime behind solos, the just general harmonic fizzle, being a little bit tone wanky there, but the fact that you've got other harmonics going on in there with that fuzz, rather than just being the clean signal, you've just got that. And even though the clean signal's still mostly there, it's just you've got this shh, which just fills out so much space and gives other things. You hear it can cover for any instrument. We're using it for, you know, if you're talking about using, it can replace strings and keyboards and all that. When I was playing, you know, it's very synthy stuff. Oh, was that? It totally sounds like a synth though. But see, you can hear me wavering there when I'm locking in with the drums, and when it locks in, it sounds fucking great. Dead hard to do when you're doing something as rapid as this. So the thing is, it's one of those ones where you're playing something that was never originally played on a bass, so you're trying to play it like a keyboard. See it? That see like there, just that you could lock in when you're just playing one note. You could feel it it's almost, it kind of gets away from you, and you're kind of like riding a horse or something. What a crap analogy. But when you're on it, and sometimes it's quite unnerving, but see when you can actually nail that and get it. Something just like, because it's so on the beat. You get it there. It's only two notes. See, it's slightly before the beat and after the beat. Missed it. And just muting it. I'm not good enough to get that to do that fast. The other one's a let's see if we can get this tempo. Try to play it earlier on. I don't know what the key it starts in. It's so difficult to do that, simply get it precise. It's just like all in the notes. I mean, that's just absolute nonsense, but I've got that click track going in my head all the time, so it makes it sound like I know what I'm doing. Oh, you're playing jazz. Oh, that's interesting and quite prog and interesting and different. And occasionally something comes out that's a bit different and interesting, and I remember it. I'll play that bit again. Actually, I was having great fun playing one more before the end. It's good use of the... I do that a lot in the Sabbath band with kind of using that note, but kind of letting the low C sharp buzz away, or in this case an E. Obviously I wasn't playing for very long. It's just that intro. And maybe learn what those two chords are. But again, that's what I was saying there about using the fuzz to fill in gaps for other instruments aren't there. What was that? I was playing it really good as well. I'm just rambling on now. It's been half an hour of bass lesson, but there you go. John Edwards' bass kind of sounds like that anyway. But it's the bit where it goes... Don't cry, don't raise your eye. It's only teenage wasteland. It's just that hold on to that note. Was it up there maybe? That's what that bit at the end seems to go. Yeah, so basically this is a video just like bass is pure great fun, and it's good fun playing along with a click track. If you don't have a click track, there's YouTube backing tracks that I've got. You can just put on, I don't know, whatever BPM it is you want. Rock drums, they're all just there. But just something really simple. I used to run just with like a beep, 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 and then that Digitech pedal has a slightly better one, which is kind of like a snare and a kick. So it's like kick, kick, snare, boom, 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 kind of like that. And then obviously I've got the Moore drummer pedal, which is a bit more complicated again, but I like the one in that because it's got disco on it. So fuzz with a bass, I don't know why I never really worked on it. I think, as I say this all the time, I think the function of having it in the bass is the fact that you can adjust it finely, because it can be completely useless. You know, if you've got the volume up at half, you can't use it. If you've got the volume at nothing, there's no sound coming out it. So if that's over there on your pedal board, you know, I mean, you need to be able to adjust it on the fly very quickly. Sounds like it's going to blow things up, just overloading the signal like a madman. That'd be good for some synthesizer. Good from you're showing the guitarist how to play the riff. yeah, that's the most I've enjoyed listening to A Whole Lot of Love for ages. I don't know where that came from. But yeah, I mean, see it, and it's like, looking at things like The Whole Lot of Love riff, it's not difficult notes, but I'm playing it at exactly the right time. That's why it sounds really good, in my own humble opinion. But it's not difficult, it's just like, it's not... It's... and shit like that, just slight wee delays and listening to it and putting... The drums will do it. I bet you the drums do that. I keep noticing that in the Sabbath stuff. These great wee runs that click in between. Go, I'm sure I've got some there. And then the second time through, here it comes, and it's like Alan's playing that exact thing on the drums. Whether I played it first or not, I don't know, but we're both playing it. Just wee things. Obviously, you get bits where it goes and the drums go but just clicking in, leaving a gap, that kind of thing. It's like kind of playing and leaving a gap there because there's a cool cymbal hit. So don't play that cymbal hit, leave it out. Bum bum bum, shh, bum bum bum, bum da da dum, bum 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 bum, shh, bum 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 bum, that kind of thing. Yeah, so gibbering on. You can tell I'm feeling a bit better. I'm a wee bit hungover from last night's live stream, but recovered properly from downloads. No longer aching, so that's good. Rock on, and half an hour, there you go. So that makes up for the 1.5 minute long Lynx video I put out the other night. Lynx cables, which are still good. I need to look them out. I need to try and find cable ends, because I wanted the short cables. So I bought 3, gave one to Jen. So I've got 2 very long cables, like 25 feet sort of thing. So I'm going to cut one of them in half and then put ends on it. But I need to find good ends that are on a broken cable. I've got so many broken cables. I want to get one with good ends on it. So he gibbereth on. Like and subscribe. Catch you later.